Today on Robeson DIY we are going to build the lumber lines.
With glitter.
And manly tools.
So here's what you need. A 4x4, a chop saw, a power drill with a 1.5 inch boring bit, a can of flat red paint, and a can of flat white primer paint. A roll of 1.5 inch blue painter's tape, a ruler, 3 to 6 electric tea lights, and a few various grits of sandpaper. And all these materials apply to the red version. Now if you want to make the gold version, all you have to do is swap out the red paint for the gold and a can of glitter spray. Let's get started. Now I'm going to be using this chop saw to cut the 4x4s. So I'm going to wear protective glasses and protective earwear. The first thing I'm going to do is cut 1 inch off of our 4x4. For a couple reasons. I want to get rid of this rough side, and I really don't want to work with this knot. That's why I cut about 1 inch up to clear it. And I get a nice flat surface with a new fresh cut. So now that that's cut off, I'm going to take that 4x4 and cut 3 pieces. One at 10.5 inches, one at 8.5 inches, and one at 6.5 inches. Next, I'm going to take my ruler and make an X on top of the wood to find the center. I'll do this for all 3 blocks. Then, using 220 grit sandpaper, I'm going to sand the rough edges and splinters off of all these blocks. Now that I'm done sanding, I'm going to drill the hole in the top for the tea light. This 1.5 inch boring bit is the perfect size for tea lights. If I put them next to each other, you can see it's almost the same height as a tea light. So I'll need to drill just below the surface. I centered the bit on the X and held the block really tightly while I drilled down. It was a little bit too hard to hold and drill, so my first hole was a little choppy. So I decided to brace the 4x4 with my shoes and clamp it together with my legs. Then using 2 hands, I was able to drill the hole much easier the first time through. I did the same thing for the rest of the blocks. Once your holes are drilled, make sure that the candle fits right. Then take some more sandpaper and sand the edges of the hole. And now you're ready to paint. I'm starting out with red as my base coat. I'm painting one side at a time on each block, being sure not to spray the top of them yet so that I can touch them without getting paint on my hands. Keep rotating the blocks and painting the sides that face you until all the sides are done. Then you can paint the top and the insides of the holes. Let it sit to dry for about 30 minutes. Okay, it feels pretty dry, so I'm going to start taping off the tall one. I lightly wrap the tall candle around the top edge using the blue masking tape. Then under that tape, I will put another strip down, but I will press it down firmly. Remove the top strip of tape and bring it down below as the spacer for the next line. Continue this process until you've reached the bottom. Now that all the tape is on, I'm going to spray another coat of red to make sure that the tape is sealed, so that when I paint white on top of this, it doesn't bleed under the tape. I'm only going to let this one dry for 15 minutes since I don't need to touch it to add the next coat of paint. So now I'm going to take some white and paint the smallest block and the tallest block, leaving the middle block to stay red. Once that's all painted white, I'm going to wait another 30 minutes to let it dry. 30 more minutes of dry time went by, and now I'm going to remove the tape. Now that the tape's off, I can take a little sandpaper and sand up the corners and edges to give it a little more character. Then I'll drop 3 of these little battery-powered tea lights in, and I thought it looked pretty good, but I decided to add some twine. I showed Rebecca and she thought that it needed a little something else. She recommended using some holly leaves. And I think she's right. Looks good. Now we also made another set of these using the same methods and steps, but replaced the red paint with gold. Then Cher decided to add some glitter spray and some sparkly gold sticks and twine to make the candles a little bit more girly and shimmery. So what do you think? Do you like the red ones or the gold ones? Leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed watching our 4th DIY of Christmas tutorial, give this video a thumbs up, and come back tomorrow to see our 5th one. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe.